Hey there guys, gals, and non-binary pals, GM Potter here. Welcome to my channel where I review books and bookish things. I try to upload on Thursdays and alternating Tuesdays, with a few sprinkles thrown in for surprise. Today I thought we would finish The Lord of the Rings with The Return of the King, and let's get into it. Okay, so this book came out in 1955. It is the last one of the Lord of the Rings trilogy. It has a 4.56 on Goodreads. I would give it a solid 5 stars. And as with the other two videos, which please go watch those if you haven't, especially if you haven't read the books or watched the movies, we will be getting into spoilers. So, full warning for spoilers. Spoilers will happen. Spoilers. You've been warned. Again, this book is split into two parts, books 5 and 6. So we start with book 5, which I like to call Gondor Calls for Aid, but the book is actually called The War of the Ring. And it primarily details the Battle of Minas Tirith. Prior to rereading these, in my mind, I had conflated the Battle of Helm's Deep and the Battle of Minas Tirith in my head, and gotten events mixed around, which 100% my fault because they're not at all the same, except that they're battles, and it's Lord of the Rings. So, in this one, we have the Witch King of Angmar, who is the most terrifying of the ring wraiths, is killed by Éowyn with the help of Merry in the classic I'm no man scene, the no man can kill me, that's I'm no man, which again leads back to Macbeth. I feel like Macbeth greatly shaped Tolkien's life, and or at least his literary life, because I think it's Macbeth. I might be mixing up the Shakespeare plays, but it's no man of woman born can kill the guy. And he's like, oh, so a woman kills him. No, that he was born to be a cesarean. He's like, God damn it. Ugh. Theoden dies. The king of Rohan dies on the battlefield. Denethor, under sorcery, under the power of sorcery, kills himself on a funeral pile for Faramir, who is not dead, just sick and wounded. And Gandalf and Pippin come through and save him, save Faramir, but they're unable to save Denethor. Aragorn, Gimli, and Legolas muster up the Rangers of the North to recruit the dead men of Dunharrow, who are the Oathbreakers that had promised to rise up against Sauron before, and had actually broken their oath and not shown up and not fought, and were doomed to not pass on to the afterlife until they fulfilled their oath. And Aragorn's like, hey, if you join us, your oath is fulfilled and you can move on to the afterlife. They're in the tide of the battle with them and win the Battle of Minas Tirith, and Aragorn heals Faramir, Éowyn, and Merry, and then marches on to the Battle of the Black Gate to distract Sauron from what he hopes Frodo and Sam are up to at the moment. Book 6 is the end of the Third Age. So Sam is able to rescue Frodo, and all seems possible and hopeful, and it's just the swelling of wonderness and amazing things because they finally make it to the fires of Mount Doom. They're overlooking them. Frodo's got the ring. Okay. And then Frodo says no and decides to keep the ring. And I knew it was coming. I've read this book many times. I've seen the movies. I knew it was going to happen, but my stomach just fell out. Then Gollum comes out and is like, hey, precious. And Frodo slips on the ring, and Gollum sees his shadow because it's so bright from the fires of Mount Doom, and chews off his finger and starts dancing around holding Frodo's severed finger, and trips and falls into the fires of Mount Doom holding the precious, and he and the precious are together for eternity, unmade. So It's a good thing that they didn't kill him all the chances they had to kill him, because Frodo let us down. Frodo was, of course, bewitched by the ring and under the power and the sway of the ring. But he let us down, still, and it still hurts, because we were counting on you. We were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you, Frodo. And then you went and did this. Really. My mom described Frodo's character as pain. That he starts out this happy-go-lucky hobbit, and he's like, I'm gonna have an adventure. And he just gets besieged on all angles by pain and suffering and awfulness. And it's just heartbreaking. Because he deserves so much better. He deserves so much more and so much better. And he doesn't get it. Arwen and Aragorn get married. And Éowyn and Faramir get married. And Éomer, Éowyn's brother, becomes the king of Rohan. And Faramir becomes the new steward of Gondor, which is the role that his father had. Because Aragorn's the king of Gondor. They can't be the king of Gondor, even though he's not stepped up. Which is kind of the point of the books from Aragorn's perspective, is him becoming worthy of becoming the king of Gondor. We have the Scouring of the Shire, which they left this out of the movies entirely, and I don't think they should have, because it really shows what the hobbits are in their heart of hearts. So Saruman, disguised as Sharky, has taken over the Shire with the help of Grima Wormtongue. The hobbits, led by Merry. Yeah, Merry leads the hobbits. Go Merry. Lead the hobbits in a revolt. The hobbits of the Shire in a revolt. And Grima turns on Saruman and kills him in front of Bag End, which is, as you remember, is now owned by the Sackville Bagginses. And hobbit archers, hobbit archers kill Grima. Sam uses Galadriel's gift from the first book, the seeds that will plant a glorious and wonderful garden, to restore the Shire. He restores the Shire, and he marries Rosie, and they have babies, and it's just wonderful and happy. And Frodo, thoroughly broken by the One Ring. Like, this experience has just broken him. He's got his shoulder wound, he's missing a finger, is thoroughly broken, and he goes and leaves for the Grey Havens, which is where the elves have been going, with Bilbo and Gandalf, to live out eternity and try and find some peace. And that's the end of the book, as it were. And then we have the appendices. So we have Appendix A, which is Annals of the Kings and Rulers, which is a history lesson on the first two ages of Middle-earth. And my favorite part is Luthien and Beren, which is, in the book, serves to be a parallel between Arwen and Aragorn, that she was an elf maiden who fell in love with a mortal man and chose death so that she could be with him. Trials and tribulations there. On their gravestones, Edith Mary Tolkien is inscribed as Luthien, and then Tolkien has Beren inscribed on his, that she was his elf maiden and he was her mortal man. That it breaks my heart and warms my heart at the same time, and just so happy making. And then we have Appendix B, which is the Tale of Years, which is a timeline of the books and kind of weaves together where the books fall in the timelines, and also lets us know that Sam gets to go to the Grey Havens because he bore the ring, and so he has earned the right to go to the Grey Havens. So he gets an extra special happy ending. After he gets his regular happy ending, he gets an extra happy ending, which is, I love Sam. And then we have Appendix C, which is family trees. So it's all the Hobbit genealogies and explaining how the Tookish side of the Bagginses works and all of this. And this is where the fan theory that so Frodo's parents died in a boating accident. They drowned. There's a fan theory out there that they died around the time Gollum first ventured out, because he had ventured out, and that's when he was captured and tortured and gave up Baggins to the Dark One, and that's when he was captured by the elves and all of this, that he had already left the mountains. And there's a fan theory that he had actually left the mountains and gone And he actually overturned the boat and drowned Bilbo's parents because all he knew was Baggins, and they were Bagginses. And so that's where that fan theory comes in. And the genealogies and the events of the books kind of support it, but it's not supported in any of the source material. So it's still a fan theory. Then Appendix D is calendars, which is more timelines of events. We have Appendix E on writing and spelling, which is Dwarven and Elvish languages and explaining the languages. And then we have Appendix F. Yes, we have Appendices A through F, which is the language of peoples of the Third Age. And on translation, which is the Sindrin and Hobbit names, and explaining that Frodo and Bilbo and Samwise and all these aren't actually their names, that they're translations or transliterations of their actual names from Sindrin to English. It describes Tolkien as not so much the writer of these fantasy novels, but as a translator of true histories and myths. And it's just, it's wonderful. I love it. So, that's Return of the King, and thus ends our Lord of the Rings saga. Have you read Return of the King? Did you see the movies? Please tell me if you've read Return of the King, you read the other two books first in order, because otherwise it doesn't make any sense. Let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.